Yeah, that'll do it. All right, welcome, folks. I am Nathan P. Butler. This is my YouTube channel. This is the so-called Battlefront Livestream podcast. Not podcast because you're getting it as an MP3 or through an MP3 downloading, pod-catching software kind of thing. But instead, because just like the podcast that I've been doing since 2002, it is much more about the conversation, the commentary, the discussion with people in the chat, the discussion with guests, if I happen to have somebody on the stream with me, than it is about the gameplay itself. But the gameplay makes a nice little backdrop to have something to watch as we're having that conversation. I, of course, am the guy behind the relatively new book from back in May, A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases, which you can find on Amazon.com. Also contributor to the recently released A More Civilized Age, exploring the Star Wars expanded universe, an essay collection by Sequart, which includes an afterword that I wrote to kind of cap off the series that is opposite of Forward by Timothy Zahn. Here on this channel, you'll find things like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, which just had a release about those 7 new releases or reissues just put out through Walmart that have an exclusive DVD with Forces of Destiny Volume 1 on them. That just got released. Fantasy Flight game reviews are also on the channel. There'll be some more of those here in the next few days as the newest wave of X-Wing shows up in my mailbox, or porch, to be more accurate. And of course, I'm also the guy behind the Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, at over 3,100 pages in its 20th anniversary edition, which just came out back in October. You can find that at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. And of course, I'm one of the 2 hosts of both Cloud City Casino with Michael Morris, a Star Wars gaming podcast, where we're talking about Battlefront 2 a lot. I believe Michael just put up the 2 parts of our discussion on the campaign for Battlefront 2. And then also Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Hurleman, where we talk about Star Wars legends and canon, books, comics, and stuff like that. So we're jumping in here. The season of The Last Jedi just started this week. The bulk of the content doesn't show up, though, until next Tuesday, which is the 13th. They actually just put up a trailer on EA's YouTube, or EA Star Wars, I guess, is YouTube channel about that. So if you are someone who is interested in that, be sure to check that out. I've seen a couple, Brian. I haven't seen much. I've been kind of, I don't want to say, I've not been saying spoiler-free so much as I just haven't been seeking out stuff. Let's see, defeat 10 enemies using any grenade. Grenade! And you have 1 day to do it. I'll go ahead and I guess try that, because I do need to kill with the heavy impact grenade. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've got another one that has me doing grenade kills with the heavy. Yeah, making an impression. Yeah, I got to do 9 more of those, so it's just 1 shy. So if I focus on this for today, but that means playing as the heavy the entire time, or most of the time. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Sean. I'm assuming it's Sean. All right. So we'll just jump in here. For what it's worth, yeah, for those who weren't familiar with it, they did change time challenges to Last Jedi this week. That's the season that's officially starting. The opening salvos are the new daily challenges and picking a side when you first logged in this week after Tuesday's update. And then the actual content, which is new story content called Resurrection, plus a new Galactic Assault map on Crate, a new Starfighter Assault map at Dakar, Finn and Phasma as hero and villain, and a new A-Wing, all drop on Tuesday of next week. But that's why the challenges now say Last Jedi, and that's why you actually have one that lasts until the entire end of the season over a month from now, whereas then you've got these daily ones that are just quick little, you know, get in, get out kind of things for that day. Haven't had a chance to really play today. All I did was jump on earlier and grab the supply crate just to make sure I didn't forget about it. But otherwise, have not touched it today. It's been a busy, busy day. Whew. I'm trying not to cough. I had a nosebleed earlier, and I feel like it's still draining in the back of my throat or something. Which it probably isn't. It's probably just that feeling of it. And yes, for those who noticed yesterday, I finally realized that since I got the new setup with the updated camera for the Pro in here, I hadn't done the flip horizontally command on the camera. So anytime I had some writing on my shirt, like last time streaming with aces across the shirt from my college, it showed up backwards. I hadn't even thought about changing it out. But now it is. Come on. Come on. Come on! Did not wake up with it bleeding. Well, what's happened is just over the last few weeks as the weather's kind of gone crazy and back and forth in the Atlanta area, it just makes my nose really raw, so it'll either be bleeding or very touch sensitive to potentially start bleeding if like I'm using a tissue that's even remotely rough at all to blow my nose or something. So not waking up with it. My wife sometimes does, but I haven't. But hers is kind of an ongoing thing. Yeah, this is not going to work from this distance. Okay.
Reactor control is ours. Squads, maneuver to the landing pad.
Are we teaching any college courses, or what I consider? No, we don't do any college courses. It's a the program that I teach with is purely public school, primarily high school, but we've expanded to include middle school, and we sort of have expanded to consider or to include elementary school, but not like regular. The way that it works in, I don't know if it's in the state or the county. I think it's a state thing. There's a thing called Move On When Ready, and basically if a student shows proficiency in, say, math or English, where they're ahead of their class significantly, they can actually zip through classes and wind up starting to take middle school classes while they're in elementary school, and then high school classes while in middle school. So those who do that technically mean that we've got some elementary school students, but not for elementary courses. It's like elementary school students who are taking middle school courses, but it doesn't apply to my subject area anyway, which is social studies. So econ, history, government, econ, 6th grade, 7th grade social studies, econ. Did I mention econ? That tends to be my bread and butter. Oh, crap! Still. Oh, hey, guys. Here, eat that real quick. Come on, blow up, blow... Ah, the fact that I died meant that the detonator didn't go off. I should have been able to kill 2 or 3 for that pair of challenges with that one toss. I'll have to look. I don't remember as far as Casterfo off the top of my head. I remember him being younger, but I honestly don't recall. I mean, I've got what they've given us of his backstory. I've got on the Star Wars Timeline Gold. You can just do a search, like download the document, download the canon document, because there's 4 documents now. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 documents now. Download the canon timeline document and just do a search for Casterfo, and you'll find any of the different entries that he's mentioned in. And then you'll see it. And if there was something weird about it, I would have included a note with that entry. But it's been a while, and so much chronological stuff kind of zips through that a lot of it winds up going out the other side once I use it for the timeline. Yeah, jumping in this game is basically, it's funny because you can fall. Okay, let's make sure let's make sure that we're clear here, right? Jumping sucks in this game because it's the Frostbite engine, so your jumps do jack. They aren't very good for actual traversal, but jumping and falling, or just falling, has virtually no effect. So it's like we suck at jumping and we suck at falling, but at least we're not dying from it. Although it's funny because I say that for campaign, or for multiplayer, but actually when I was playing the campaign, some of the only times I ever actually died in the campaign, because I was just playing it on whatever the lowest difficulty setting was so that I could see the story, was instances of bad platforming, like where you got to jump as Lando. Man, it's taking forever for that freaking grenade to refresh. Come on! That's all I really want to do is grenade kills, because that's what the things are for. Okay.
Maintain position at the landing pad. We'll have it shortly.
How did it not kill either of them? You know what? That's fine. You guys got a problem? Let's mow the grass here, so to speak. Yep. Whew, okay.
We're holding the outer perimeter.
All right, so let me see if I can. I'm sure. I'm assuming I missed part of what you said there, Veda. Let's see. What film course for college would I teach with humanities?
They're moving rapidly to escape. Disperse their forces in the hold.
It would depend on what it is. Like, that's not my area. So probably something like the development of Star Wars on home video, because, you know, I literally wrote the book on it, but that'd probably be it.
I can handle myself.
Yeah, landing from a high distance does absolutely nothing to hurt. Well, okay, it doesn't not hurt, because there are some heights you can actually get hurt from, but you only get hurt a minimal amount to the point where it might as well not even be hurting you at all. But it does take off a little bit of your health, though, from way up high. But even something like up in that spot I was just in a minute ago, where a lot of people like to do sniping from, I mean, there's just not much to it from a distance and a damage standpoint. This trooper is like, where'd everybody go, guys? Guys? Hello? Are we all up here now? Did you guys leave me while I was in the bathroom, guys? Come on, guys. Oh, nice. Always good to know that we are, well, I was about to say speaking truth, but speaking what people can agree with. And then I got blowed up. But at least I know there's a guy in there, so I can maybe go in there and use an impact grenade, because I don't care about score or kills right now per se, and it doesn't really matter if you win or not. But I do care about impact grenade kills, because that is the one thing I actually need to do at the moment for both of those challenges. That tends to be the way that I play it until I run out of milestones to do, is I'll just pick something and focus on it to the detriment of everything else. It's like I could probably be getting more FWMB kills to get the night vision on the FWMB, but I'm so laser focused on I want to do impact grenade kills that I don't even think about it, when I probably should be.
Seize the area now.
I seize the area. It's right there. Oh, not SEES. Hey guys, how's it going? What's going on, buddy?
Now, purge the resistance. The hold is out.
Killing some dissidents? Oh, I see.
Now is the test.
Kill them till they die from it, I always say.
To the two main exit points so the resistance cannot leave. We will pluck our prize from the carnage.
Veda, was that? I think that was Veda. Was that a question of which of the 1995 versions is the best packaging? Is that what that was? Oh, Creepinator may have been the one that said it. About the with that what's set. It really doesn't make much difference. I mean, it's the same stuff. I would say it's probably a little bit easier to get it in and out of the packaging for the side loader, but it really doesn't matter. There's no difference other than just the design. Enemy spotted. There we go. Throw it. Kill somebody. Come on, come on, come on. Damn it. I'm playing and I'm trying to also keep up with the chat, but in my head, I've had a song stuck in my head for like the last hour and a half that just will not go away. And I'm trying so hard not to start humming it or something, because it's just not something that's particularly friendly for a stream. So, like, dang it. All right, let's see. Ever have to service your computer? Depends what you mean by service the computer. Like, myself for things, for like minor things, or like actually taking it in to have it serviced somewhere?
Attacking the east exit.
That's what happens when I'm staring at the chat. It's like, yeah, bonk. Hey, dumbass, stop reading the chat and go. Okay. Okay, my bad. Wait. Oh, dang it, I don't have it. One of my classes, I think the officer, I've got set up so that the right emote or the left emote is I'm sorry. I need to change that for all of them. Because right now I've got the Rancor set up where it's just like, rah, rah. It's just not as cool. Oh, get him, get him, get him! Damn it! Damaged, but not dead.
Taking too long. Secure the east exit now.
Ah! Ah! Oh, dead. Leia killed me. That's fine. That's fine. Oh yeah, if it's a Apple computer, like what I'm working on here, then yeah, you pretty much have to take it to them. But or something like my buddy Josh's business in Nashville, because they service them too. But I tend to be a PCs, Windows guy, with the exception of
I'm in this for the money.
That work computer, and that's really just because it's just a more convenient little computer to carry around when I'm just quickly in here, because my main PC is set up over there with a bunch of stuff over by the light. And then my work computer that I usually use, which is a PC, stop it, is set up in the other room on a dock with 2 monitors and everything. So I'm not looking forward to upgrading, correct, but not for the reason you think. It's not that I'm not looking forward to upgrading because it'll be expensive, it's that I'm not looking at upgrading because I already did. You can't tell it on the stream because you have to turn HDR off when you're streaming, and the streaming options, basically, unless you're going to change your streaming options every single time you stream, you have to change it to a maximum of 720, because otherwise the PlayStation VR won't stream video at all. So I just leave it at 720. Also makes it stutter less. But yeah, we've got the TV I'm playing on now is a 50-inch, I think it is. Sony something. But a Sony 4K TV with HDR, and we upgraded. I sold Mark my my old Xbox One for a steal, and picked up an Xbox One S to be able to play 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays. And then Vader didn't get. Wait, but then oh, thanks. Yeah, that's gonna help me throw a grenade at this jerkwad.
Throwing grenade.
That didn't help at all. But yeah, so we did that, and I had already upgraded to the PS4 Pro for the benefit to PlayStation VR processing.
Same as always.
So now we can, and now that I've got the updated PSVR, we now have the processor box that allows HDR pass-throughs, so we're able to actually play, like I can play Battlefront on PS4 and actually have the 4K and HDR going. It just spawned me into a wall. Really? But yeah, I would bet that it'll probably be Last Jedi will be the first Star Wars film we get in 4K, and then when that comes out, more than likely they'll also probably put out 4K The Force Awakens and Rogue One sometime soon. Because you got to figure that the masters exist for those, and that would be a very easy fix. It's just that Disney hadn't done any kind of 4K really until until Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm at your side.
So no idea on the sound not coming out of it. I would just say I don't think there are sound controls on the Apple TV itself, so you may have to look at the TV and its menu system to see what output it's selecting. Unless you just got a bad cable, but if the picture's coming through and the sound isn't, that's pretty unlikely. And I don't know. The thing about 4K is it's coming out in this weird time where there's also a move towards digital content too. And every time you look at every time you look at the generational changes, so see now I'm getting into my main thing, right? My bread and butter, my home video stuff. every generation as the technology improves, it's improving by a smaller increment, right? So it was a big jump between, say, 8mm reels at home to eventually getting a VHS Laserdisc CED Betamax, right? But then it was a big jump, not quite as big, but still pretty huge, between VHS and DVD, but then a smaller increase, a smaller betterment of the process and whatnot, betterment of the experience from DVD to Blu-ray or HD DVD, and then from Blu-ray now, it's an even smaller step to 4K with the Ultra HD Blu-rays. So it's kind of one of those things where I think a lot of people, even if they have a player like an Xbox One S, don't care enough to often buy 4K Ultra HD discs. A lot of people are disappointed that the PlayStation 4 Pro can't play those discs. And I know a lot of people who love home video stuff, but they're like, I am not buying a $250-something separate player just to be able to play those. I'll just watch on my 4K TV and let it do as much upscaling as it automatically does to be able to do it, if they've got one that has that built-in change. So, yeah. But, I mean, I can see why hey, Toby. I can see why the 4K is rising in popularity and Blu-ray 3D is dying, because there is a 4K PS4. That's what the PlayStation 4 Pro is, but you just can't play the discs on it. Like you can't play Ultra HD Blu-rays 4K discs on a PlayStation 4 Pro. It doesn't work. It doesn't use those discs. You have to play it on either an Xbox One S or an Xbox One S if you want to play a 4K disc on a gaming console. But yeah, people are like, why am I paying $250 friggin' bucks for just a player for these new discs when I don't feel like I've got enough benefit from that to the other? The thing about the Blu-ray 3D stuff is it's such a niche thing, right? Like 4K content you can see somebody getting because, you know, your player might upscale for you if it's a Blu-ray instead of Ultra HD. You got streaming content you can get in 4K, you can game in 4K. 3D was really just a Blu-ray 3D thing. Like, even the PlayStation 3 that could do 3D gaming barely did. So it was kind of one of those things where, I mean, not only would you have to have a player capable of playing it, like a PS3, PS4, but you would also have to... Oh! Not a single bit of damage. You would also, though, have to take the time... Throw the grenade, asshole! Pressing the button. You'd also have a TV to be able to handle it. And a TV with 3D technology was a good, what, $500 usually, more than a lot of other ones were, if it was a sizable TV. I mean, I love Blu-ray 3D, but I never got a bigger TV for 3D than the PlayStation branded display I got in the other room, and that's like maybe 21 inches at most. It's just, the hardware was just almost prohibitively expensive for that, so now people are just like, yeah, screw it. Yeah, I'm hoping that by the time we get a PlayStation 5, whenever that may be, when they're done with all this incremental stuff of just hardware refreshes, that we'll actually be able to play those discs on it. It's kind of the opposite, right? Because this time we've got the PS4, or PS4 Pro, that's not able to play 4K discs, but the Xbox One S and X can, whereas last generation it was the PlayStation 3 that could play Blu-rays, but the Xbox 360 couldn't. And I'd include Nintendo, but it's Nintendo, so whatever. Let's see. How does Rogue One Blu-ray 3D look? I like it. I really like it. I think that the start... See, I think that the thing about it is Blu-ray... Alright, so Rogue One 3D feels like regular, like, expectations of what 3D should look like, whereas The Force Awakens 3D was good... But the depth was usually depth of field away from the screen rather than sort of feeling like anything was jumping out at you or something was sort of coming forward. It was all sort of it was almost like looking at a diorama. You know what I mean? Where like you're looking into something that goes deeper, but not necessarily into something where... I mean, I think there's like one shot where the front of the finalizer looks like it's coming out of the TV at you. But that's about the only time there's really a forward-pushing 3D element. But Rogue One was much more of the traditional expectation of 3D, and it was really good. I mean, Force Awakens 3D was really good. It was just not the traditional style, if that makes sense. That is a good question, JL, because you actually have... Trying to read it as fast as it's going. Because not only is there Force Awakens 3D, Phantom Menace 3D that was in theaters. Remember that they showed Attack of the Clones in 3D at a convention, and they showed Revenge of the Sith in 3D at a convention. So we know that all three prequels exist in 3D format. It should not be difficult to put those on 3D Blu-ray and sell them, but they haven't. It kind of makes me wonder if there's a license issue there. Because you think about... Wow, I'm dead. Okay, so you think about the 3D Blu-rays that we got recently with Star Wars. What were they? Force Awakens, Rogue One, right? Coming from Walt Disney Home Video. Because they've got full control over the distribution of those two films. So they're putting out regular physical and 3D, not a problem. It makes me wonder if there's something about the way the contracts work for the prequels that somehow 20th Century Fox can put out physical distribution of the regular version, but not of the 3D version. But since the regular physical version can't come through Walt Disney Home Video yet, maybe they can't put out a 3D one. Like, maybe what you got is two instances where you've got these different elements of the contracts for distribution that are clashing to the point where it's sort of negating the ability to get it out there. It really makes me wonder, though, because you would think that'd be, again, a license to print money, and if they wait too much longer, there's not going to be a market for it because they're already not making TVs with 3D tech anymore. So. Okay, yeah, the 3D version of The Force Awakens didn't sell super well. I mean, it sold well, but not as well as they would have hoped, because a lot of people were buying it for the extra bonus features, and they were pissed about it, and plenty of people said, screw it, I'm not buying it again. And then Rogue One, by the time it came out, you didn't have a wide 3D release in the US. You did in the UK, but here you had to go to either Target or Best Buy and get one of those to be able to have the Blu-ray disc. So it's kind of one of those things where they shot themselves in the foot to an extent.
Weapons powering!
Let's see. Probably a license issue. Yep. But hopefully Disney will just buy 20th Century Fox and do it. Because apparently the Murdoch family, like Rupert Murdoch and his ilk, want out of the movie business. So get the hell out, sell to Disney, and let's get those rights back where they belong, or rights back where they can be used most effectively to give us more instead of just reissuing the same shit over and over again. Let's see. And that stuff is just zipping by so freaking fast. There is no way I am going to have a chance to check. So if you said something I did not respond to, feel free to put it back in there, but just know that you may have to do it a couple of times. Let's see.
Direct hit to the walker!
Yeah, it'd be difficult. We'll see, it's difficult also because you don't have the original versions for 1 through 3 because of how they had to disassemble the original masters to be able to upgrade, do the cleaning and everything to get them ready to be the special editions. So they'd have to recreate them almost Harmy style to be able to get a master that could be used for 4K. I'm assuming they didn't run into that with the prequels. I mean, surely by the time of the prequels and what little tinkering they did to them along the way, they were doing it a smarter way. Because, I mean, Attack of the Clones was completely digitally edited. In fact, it was the first time ever that there was a digital film master used to make a DVD. Like, ever. But, I don't know.
Backup ready.
I'm not 100% sure if they... I'm assuming they kept the masters pristine for those. JL, I realized I'd seen it before, the presentation there. That was the time where they showed it like without the license or something and people got pissed. Yeah, Theater 3D sticks around. It gives them one more thing that they can do to try to keep people going to the actual movie theater.
Grenade set.
I'm sort of one of those people who's of the mindset that if traditional movie theaters die, I'm not sure I'm going to care that much, because I think that they should be narrowing the gap between theater and home release anyway, if possible. That said, the fact that there is less movie attendance now does mean that some theaters are making their what do you call them? Showing rooms, whatever you call them. They're making them with less seats now and more leg room and more comfortable seats that recline and stuff like ours did, which is awesome. Oh, and missed something about Warner Brothers. I mean, JL, you could, the whole idea is you just take an old print. So I got to unlock a test, and unlocked. Unlocked within like 30 seconds, baby. But no, I think that, any of those you're going to be able to clean up somewhat, but it's going to be different than being able to scan in an original master. Because even like if you've got a really good 70mm print, that's still just a 70mm print. It's not an original copy of the film, so it's based off of some master, so it's a degree removed and won't be as clear if you try to scan it to be able to turn it into something like a 4K.
I can handle myself.
Elite ally on the ground!
Small timeline shift?
Have a job. She's hit! Walker hit!
Have them say, you know what? Not only have we screwed up the timeline of Legends for the Clone Wars horribly, we realize now that there's no way that we can cram all these Legends stories and the Clone Wars cartoon series into just a 3-year gap. So we're going to change the time frame of the Clone Wars and say they actually lasted 5 years. Good freaking luck, chronology enthusiasts. Yeah, that kind of thing, probably. Let's see. JL asking about, did I see the silver screen edition? Yeah, actually, on that same set where one of the viewers of the show sent me that, Kurt, sent me that box set that he made, like that he handcrafted for the despecialized editions. One of the discs that he includes with A New Hope with that is the silver screen edition, too. So that I could have that on a physical copy. I could watch it on a TV screen instead of trying to stream it off my computer or something.
Walker damaged!
Interesting. I know that they've cleaned up Superman the movie before, but have they ever made any substantial changes to it? Because if not, then that may actually be possible from a technological standpoint. Boom! D-E-D, death. Yeah, the pink stuff it's because the film degrades over time, depending on what type of film it is. Which, of course, is better than the old type of film. God, I forget what the old type was off the top of my head, but there was an old type of film that when it degraded would have a tendency to spontaneously combust. So that when one of the gents who listens or who watches the YouTube channel had sent me over, Meowsek, had sent me over the 16mm reels of the behind-the-scenes specials from the 80s, like Making of Star Wars, SPFX Empire Strikes Back, Classic Creatures Return of the Jedi, that stuff. I did do a quick check to make sure that it was the film type that wouldn't cause our house to burn down. Damn! It's moving too fast. I need to just basically, like, either answer shorter or just not watch the screen and just do what people do when they're rubber banding and they're doing something like this with a rubber band so that it gives them the points for participating even though they're not really participating. Wish Lucas would wise up. Well, given that Lucas has absolutely nothing to do with it anymore, it wouldn't make a difference if Lucas wised up or not. Get back here, you Ewok back! Wait, what? Where'd he go? That Ewok just phased, I'm pretty sure. He may be from that episode with Ensign Ro and Geordi. I'm not actually sure. Wait, wrong franchise. Speaking of which, by the way, my big rewatch of the Star Trek franchise is nearing where I stopped watching years ago, so I can see some new stuff. Just started Season 4 of DS9 and Season 2 of Voyager. Watched Way of the Warrior last night. Worf! Interesting. I have not seen any of those bigger cuts of Superman. The last Superman set I bought was that metallic set years ago that had like the Superboy premiere in it and all kinds of stuff. And Disney can't do it, at least not yet. Let's see. Yeah, they'd have to recreate the theatrical releases to make it happen, though. I mean, not to say they couldn't. I mean, if Harmy could do it and he's a fan, then surely an organization with the heft of Disney and Lucasfilm, et cetera, could theoretically do it. And if Fox actually gets bought out, then they don't have to wait until 2020 or make some kind of crazy deal for A New Hope. They can just do it. They can just do it. Hopefully. But we'll see. It is not, JL, it's not Disney that is reissuing. It is 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment that is reissuing. Well, okay, Disney's reissuing, but not as much as 20th Century Fox, because that was the weird thing, right? This week, what you saw was both 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment and Walt Disney Home Video doing reissues that this time were coordinated in style. And all at Walmart had the same bonus disc that was a Walt Disney Home Video bonus disc. That has never happened before. Huge! But what it portends, hard to say.
That's our girl. She's ready to assault the intercom.
What is Blue? Not sure what Blue Sky Studios is, so you may have to update me on what that is. I'm not familiar with the term. Alien franchise. I'm not sure it could be worse than Prometheus and Covenant. Although Covenant wasn't as bad as Prometheus was. And Avatar, the fact that they're making another trilogy of Avatar movies blows my freaking mind. You know? And if he really wants to go with the social allegory thing again, like he did with the original Avatar, he's kind of mined that well already, sort of the native versus the intruders thing as well. So he's probably going to have like a new race of beings they interact with who get angry over everything. But then instead of committing violence, they just gripe all the time, and they could be like the Pandoran snowflakes or something. Because he kind of he went way into the allegorical realm for the last one. 3 more, especially with the level of social commentary to it, seems like it's going to be a bit of a stretch to me. But then again, I've got Avatar in 2 ways in there. I've got the extended version and I've got the 3D version. So I still got it because it's still purty. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, but JL, that's what they said last week. I mean, I'd like to think that it's actually going to happen, but they've been saying for a couple of weeks now, it's coming probably next week. And not yet. Just like I'm supposed to get a call back from our insurance adjuster, and don't worry, you'll get a call back within business hours. Bullshit! Bullshit! Maybe business hours tomorrow.
Same as always.
That is true. Disney does not do much in the way of R-rated stuff. In fact, I can't even remember the last Disney film, if there has been any, that had an R rating. Particularly for a franchise they controlled. I think that to some degree, though, I'd be willing to give up the R-rated, like Deadpool type stuff in order to have the X-Men in the MCU. Personally. Whoa! Oh shit! I did a flip backwards and I wound up landing in a crouch, but you can barely tell when you're in first person. Let's see, have I watched any of the Hannibal Lecter films? I've seen Silence of the Lambs, and I've seen... I guess it was Hannibal. Actually, the first one I saw was the second one they put out. Ah, okay.
Stand together.
Okay, I never thought about the fact that the Touchstone was connected to Disney. So that explains the Touchstone Pictures logo on a... Oh no, and that's not the one I'm thinking of. It's not the Touchstone logo that was on Spider-Man. That was Columbia, wasn't it? That was on there along with Sony and Disney? I forget. I just remember noticing another opening logo.
I'm ready for what's next.
Disney and Miramax. Cute little animals and dick and fart jokes. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, Columbia Pictures then. Gotcha. Will I marathon, or would I marathon all 7 Star Wars until The Last Jedi? I might. It just kind of depends. I don't really have a lot of time now to do it, though. I did that before. I mean, I did that for... right before Force Awakens, I did. Where am I? Did I get any? I didn't get a single impact grenade kill that time. But I'm only 13 away from night vision for my Fwumbatinke. So that's cool. Oh, not 13. Is it 13? No. 23. Maths is good. Then 123 away from having the ion shot that I don't really care about. Cool. Cute. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Silence of the Lambs. Long time. Hannibal Lecter. Well, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Long time. Why does Obi-Wan repeat long time? Just saying. Alright, so we are on... Dang it, we're on Indoor again. Not a big fan of the Indoor map on here. Come on, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh.
What's the plan?
What's the plan? Have a plan, execute the plan. Plan fails, throw out the plan. Or whatever it is that Snark says. Never watched Zombieland the TV series. I saw the Zombieland movie with Harrelson and Murray and all.
We'll need every second.
They wouldn't use that. I mean, they would not use a like. Well, okay, it'd be unlikely for them to use a print of that generation, I would imagine. But hard to say. I still think that you probably need to wait until people like Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni and them are out of there, because they're going to have enough of a personal loyalty to Lucas that as long as Lucas's desire was not to release the originals again, that regardless of whether it's possible or profitable, they might balk at it.
Rebel override in place in the Walker Bay. We're losing
That's something I need to figure out on the map. I found out one of them yesterday, but I forget where it was, so I guess I might as well not even say I figured it out. But there were a couple of places I ran into where there are shortcuts that take you through the get back here kind of area, but you're able to get around fast enough that it doesn't wind up killing you, which helps you get some good strategic positioning sometimes.
Walker Bay systems under attack.
Take the Rebel override offline.
So what's the ownership with New Line Cinema? Is that Warner then? Because I thought Blade was New Line, wasn't it? Oh, damn.
I'll cover you.
And I'll cover you. Sorry, rent flashback. Let's see. I missed the Blade TV series. It was actually getting good whenever they killed it. Kirk Sticky Fingers Jones was not quite as good as Wesley Snipes, but I'm pretty sure that Kirk Sticky Fingers Jones probably actually paid his damn taxes, so, you know, it's a trade-off.
Rebels are in control of the main computer. If one more
Gotcha. So Warner and New Line are linked. Gotcha. Yeah, Blade was pretty good. I haven't seen Blade 3 in ages. But I dug the series. Hey! Oh, shooting at me! Ow, put a... Ah! Dang it! Alright, it was worth a shot. I mean, I got killed, but it was worth a shot. My thought was I could drop it at his feet and maybe get enough splash damage to kill him, but that didn't work. Eh.
Rebels overriding the fuel station.
I did prefer, by the way, I'm reading Tolkien right now. I started with the Silmarillion, which was an interesting way to start. Then read The Hobbit, and now I'm reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I just started Two Towers, right? Well, I just got to the introduction of Treebeard that hasn't even got a name yet. But my God, those are some ponderous books. Like, the movies themselves I thought were pretty good. The original books are good at the world building, but I actually find myself agreeing with Randall from Clerks 2 when it comes to how the books play out. My God, it's a bunch of walking.
They're taking control of the fuel station. Fuel station compromised.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not. Oh! I didn't even see the boom. Maybe the boom will come tomorrow. There's always a boom tomorrow. Is that Firefly with boom tomorrow? What is that? What was that from? Yeah, I can't see quite. There we go. Let's say it's just hard to fire from here with any accuracy with a heavy. You really need to get closer. Hey guys! Hey guys, let me in! Somebody let me in! Yes, that's right.
They're attacking the fuel station.
A Lewis from
Enemy under
Ghostbusters
control.
reference there. You have too many copies of Star Wars. Have we talked about that room in there?
Fuel station control compromised.
Ooh, ooh. New Line did Freddy's Dead The Final Nightmare. I know that because one of my favorite Goo Goo Dolls songs plays over the New Line Cinemas logo.
Walker coming online.
Wait,
The rebels
that was
have
not
their
helpful at all. Damn it.
Withdraw and prepare to defend.
Jump! Go ahead, jump.
The AT-AT will move directly toward our base.
I feel so old. Like I'll make a reference in my my letters to my students or my email to my students probably tomorrow to since it's 1 week from when their last official day is for the courses. And I'll probably make a reference to, you know, how it's the final countdown, but nobody will get the musical joke. Or very few will.
Right with you.
Well, if you've got the ones you mentioned, if you've got those DVD Blu-ray combo packs from 2013 and you've got the complete saga set, you've basically got the original ones that they reissued
What are you looking at?
this week. All they did was put the little thing on them. I want to see if this little bastard disappears. The other one disappeared. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't make me lose my Ewok now. Man, those Ewoks are a hardy bunch. All right, is he? There you go. Come on, Ewok. Come on. Man, he ain't so much Ewoking. Is he fast Ewoking?
Walker taking hit.
All right, screw it. I was hoping to follow him to wherever he's going to go, but it seems like all he's doing is walking laps.
Some new rebels tearing through our troops.
How is the game? I mean, it's better than the first one, which is kind of like being valedictorian of summer school, but, you know, it's better than the first one. The campaign's pretty good, but isn't quite what we were promised as far as the time frame or the concept. It's a little more cliche than one would expect.
Shooting our own war.
And then the multiplayer is,
Glory today.
I would say it's probably better than the original, but the progression system is kind of screwy, broadly speaking. At least now the microtransactions aren't throwing the game's economy completely out of balance, though. At least as much anymore. It would help if I was actually playing the objective or paying a lot of attention while I was playing instead of mostly interacting with the chat, but hey. We just actually did... Oh, shit. If you drop by StarWarsReport.com, I believe both of our episodes on the campaign and related ideas both got released for Cloud City Casino, the podcast. I want to say earlier. It's either earlier today or last night. I got a notification that Michael got a chance to put them up, but I honestly have no idea whether he put both up or if he split it and put one up and then he's putting the other one up later in the week. Because we went on for about 2.5 hours on campaign stuff and related things because we kept going off on related and important tangents, but tangents nonetheless. I feel like I'm going to turn the corner and Lara Croft is going to be coming out of a big old blood lake or some shit. That's what I'm working on right now, officially, that 10 grenade kills. Because that's what it is now, or it's what's showing up now. Alright. I'm working on that with my impact grenade. And then, oh, crap! When I'm waiting for it to recharge, I'm just getting the FWMB kills to get the night vision eventually. I really need to switch out, though, and if I don't have it yet, get the resourceful star card to help speed up the refresh on my impact grenade, because even with that improved impact grenade, that's just a blast radius improvement. It's not improving the refresh at all, and it takes so long to refresh that I'm barely able to use it. Did I just... No, I didn't die. I just got Luke Skywalker pushed halfway across the... You know, an acre, probably. Shit! Ah, didn't get him.
We're detecting major damage to the walker.
Let's see.
Maintain the barrage.
I don't think I've got resourceful yet. No, I'd have to go get it. And my impact grenade, it's a blast radius thing, not a recharge thing. Okay.
What's the plan?
Hello, Charles. Welcome. Thoughts on HD DVD during the war, the format war? You know, I'll tell you, I never even dipped into HD DVD. That was before I was quite as heavily into the home video stuff as I am now and the history of it and all that stuff. I do find it interesting, though, that, I mean, the fact that the PlayStation 3 had the built-in Blu-ray player kind of won the day, it seems like. But it was interesting because if you look back at exactly when it was that Warner Brothers Home Video finally said screw it to HD DVD and went Blu-ray exclusive, it was only a matter of, I want to say it was weeks or a month or two before Clone Wars, the Clone Wars movie hit Blu-ray, the first Star Wars Blu-ray ever.
Right with you.
So, I mean, if that had been just a few months either way, we could have wound up getting at least one Star Wars release on HD DVD. Instead, it's one of the few formats that we've, as far as home video goes, that we've never actually gotten a Star Wars release on. At least an official one. I mean, hell, Star Wars even got PVD releases, albeit not well, had games on UMD. No, I take it back. In the UK, Clone Wars the movie got a UMD release, so there was a UMD release, just not in the US. But yeah, HD DVD just got left behind. Thoughts on Jurassic World 2? Don't have them because I haven't bothered to watch the trailer or see anything about it. I liked the first one, and of the original trilogy of Jurassic Park, I really liked the first one. And was kind of meh on the second and third. Enough that I went and bought the box set that has the 3D version of the first one in it. So I dig it. Jurassic Park's first book, though, is phenomenal. The first movie is all right, but God, that first book is friggin' awesome. Lost World, the sequel, that has almost nothing to do with the Lost World movie sequel, not so much. But the original Jurassic Park novel is phenomenal if you've never read it. It's awesome. Yep. Yep, and they died because of, or whatever time of year it was, they died because of the last of the major studios saying screw it, and Warner, I want to say, was one of the last major studios to give up. May have even been the last. I don't remember. I did research on it and included that information in the book, but it's one of those things that wasn't a piece of information I use very often, so it's not at my mental fingertips to mix some metaphors there. I've seen Jurassic World. It was good. Some of it's kind of weird, but Chris Pratt does a pretty good job in it.
Their force is broken and will escape Endor to find revenge.
Whoever said let's put kids in a gerbil ball and let them go around a bunch of dinosaurs was an asshole, though. Whoever designed that part of the park. Really? See, that's what I always liked Lego. That's what I always really liked about Michael Crichton stuff, was the level of detail. There was a time when, kind of like now, like I went through all the Dresden books again. Now I'm going through the Tolkien stuff for the first time, or at least Silmarillion, Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings. It'll probably be all. But there was a time when my big fascination was with Crichton stuff, and read all of it. I really kind of want to reread some of it, and there's a few things I never got to. But I love the fact that he's got the real science in it. Kind of like my dad, being a vet and being into medical stuff, loves the Robin Cook books because he goes into that kind of detail to make it feel real. Excited to see Malcolm back. It depends. Is Jeff Goldblum gonna play, Jeff Goldblum, or is he actually gonna play Ian Malcolm? Because I think about Independence Day Resurgence, and that was not exactly his finest hour. But I enjoy as long as he doesn't do a pat reference to, your scientists decided, you were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should, because that's a great line, but now it's so quoted that probably shouldn't be quoted again in the film. Whereas Alan Grant, wherever Sam Neill and his career have gotten to.
Attention close. Command attack here, CC 2801. And I'm conscripting you into my regiment.
Though talking about him makes me want to watch Event Horizon again. Loved Event Horizon for a long time. Haven't seen it in ages. Barely remember parts of it. But Event Horizon was one of those movies that's like, holy shit! At the time. I didn't know what I was watching. I thought I was just watching a regular sci-fi movie when I went to go see it in the theater, and I was like, holy crap. Because I was fairly young when that came out. I'm not sure what year it was. But still. Alright, here we go. I'm assuming what you mean is he wasn't utilized well, but I would not have been surprised if after the mess of a movie that Jurassic Park 3 was, that Sam Neill or Alan Grant went out and got wasted. He was wasted in 3. That explains his acting.
Stay together.
Like, what? Huh? Somebody pass me another, please. That's me checking the time, by the way. Whee! Whee! What are these things? And why are they in the middle of the damn hallway? Somebody move your crap. Those big, like, shotgun shell looking things, that's not looking good. Oh, crap, there's a door down there. That's a door down there, I tell ya. If I could get a good throw. Dang it, it bounced off of the door. And now I gotta wait like an hour and a half for the impact grenade to refresh. Ah! Open that door. Oh, I missed it. Missed it by that much. I didn't like Lost World as much as I liked 3, but 3 was pretty bad. And that was back when, what's his name was all over the place. God, what is his name? The guy that played the dad looking for his son in Jurassic Park 3, who was also on ER around the time. Who's now, is he not Shameless now is his big thing? He was huge at the time.
Trouble at the archive. Splicing sequence started.
Trouble at the archive. I want more like meta sci-fi references. So like if we're at the archive, I want someone to call it Ivy. Anybody get that? Anybody get that? Yes, William H. Macy, that's the guy. Please tell me that call the archive Ivy was a joke that somebody understood. That I'm not the only nerd who read those books. Nope, not poison ivy. The archive was the little girl who basically had all the knowledge of everything ever printed or written down compacted into her mind as a knowledge source that she could draw sort of out of the ether in the Dresden Files books. Harry didn't like referring to her as the archive because it depersonalized and dehumanized the little girl, so he called her Ivy, like archive-y, archive. She's a cool character. That's a good series. If you never read it, the Dresden Files books are awesome also. There's a lot of them now, but they're particularly good. Didn't get to see Blade Runner 2049 yet. Gonna see it when it hits 4K at some point. Uh-oh! Oh wait, we're on Ray's side. It's okay. That sounds like a bad X-rated spoof. Ray handles herself. Oh, that's it. Are you? What are you doing? Think the sky's gonna attack us? Look up at the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. Okay. As the meme says, what were the two guys who thought it was a bird or a plane so freaking excited about if it was really just a bird or a plane? I didn't like Blade Runner originally, but it grew on me when I was able to watch it on Blu-ray and see better, because I have a hard time with the extreme darkness of the film. And on 4K, it's gorgeous, and I was able to get more into it. But that's also the final cut version that I was watching, as opposed to the original theatrical with the shoehorn narration and crap.
Perfect. Now keep him out of there.
You ever wonder if Superman woke up one morning and and he had a bit of a kryptonite-laced bender, and he was going to go and fight crime, but for some reason he put his tights on and then his underwear on and zipped out there, and people took enough pictures of him that they thought it was his uniform, so from then on he had to wear his underwear outside of his pants? Just saying. Could be an innocent reason. I think it's funny because, see, for me, like, Cyberpunk was something I was interested in but never really read. And I thought the original Total Recall film, for instance, was all right, though it's not really Cyberpunk. But then they did Total Recall 2070, I think is what it was called, on Showtime, I think it was. And I was enjoying it, but it felt nothing like what you would think of as Total Recall. It feels more like the rebooted Total Recall than it felt like the original Total Recall. It felt much more Blade Runner-esque. And I got into that, but then they canceled that within like a season, and they never have put it on home video. Closest thing is to watch like digitized crap copies. Let's see. Geostorm, I have not seen Geostorm. Let's see, what am I at? 16 more for that one, and still no more impact kills. Fan-friggin-tastic. Be better if I was using the specialist and the tripwire thing. I love the new Total Recall. Not a big fan of the original Total Recall, which I know makes me an apostate of some kind. You realize that is exactly what they did, right? The 2006 limited edition DVD, those are the 1995 widescreen versions, because the 1995 widescreen versions that we know as the THX Remastered Edition are the definitive collection discs from 1993, which is the master that they used in 2006. It's the exact same thing. No, I really disliked the original Total Recall. Really disliked. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was a horrible actor to have play that role. I even liked the original story that was based on better than I liked, was it Real Dream It For You Wholesale? Better than I liked the first film. Hey! Which one's the one where Obi-Wan sat? Disinfectant! Disinfectant! Okay, bye. Damn! I am so tired of these mother glitching clones in this mother glitching city. Wally? Wally I've never seen. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I think I saw the first one years ago. I remember nothing about it, and I never saw the other ones. Terminator 3... alright. Not great. Still, saying that any Terminator film after 2 was great is pretty difficult to do. See, and that was what they should have done. But that wouldn't have been quite the same thing. I mean, it would have been... in essence, what they would say is that that cleanup is exactly where they got the special editions. And they really can't clean it up without the original masters anyway. Or cleaned up any further. It's more a matter of resolution cleanup, I think, than it is artifacts. Dang it! Damaged but not dead. Are you still down there? There he is. I thought Genesis was okay, it wasn't good enough to really keep things going, and she just was not a good Sarah Connor. Which concerns me about the Han Solo movie, because if the only thing she can play where she doesn't suck is Daenerys, we got a problem.
Roger, roger.
Star Wars reference on Reddit. Sounds familiar. I think somebody pointed me to a link to that a while back that I looked at for a bit but didn't get a chance to really delve too much into. Never seen any of the Cars films. And throwing! There we go. Since I did just have one pop up, just for what it's worth, as far as the friend requests and follower requests and stuff like that. If you're someone who enjoys the streams and whatnot, I would and wants to be able to spot them on PSN also when they pop up, definitely do the follower thing as opposed to the friends thing, because I'm in the process right now of actually cleaning out my friends list to just people I actually know. So if somebody tries to get on the friends list that I don't know, it's very likely that it'll either not be approved or it'll be approved, and as soon as I prune it out and get to that letter of the alphabet, it'll be gone. Because it's becoming difficult, especially when playing a VR game, to try to actually bring friends into a game, because I'm scrolling through a crap ton of people I don't even actually know to be able to get to those names. Salvation was pretty bad, yeah. Nothing quite like finding out, though, that a John Connor fought with the Salvation Army. Because, you know, ringing the bell and shit.
I'm ready to go.
Definitely, I dig Watchmen. Watchmen's good, especially, I've got that Ultimate cut now. Because they did a 4K re-release. It also has the, or that is, I guess, the Ultimate cut. That's pretty cool. That has Black Freighter and everything built into it. Too bad they didn't do Under the Hood, because they got Under the Hood as a separate thing, but they didn't integrate it like it is in the comic. Did they use the Laserdisc from the Faces? I missed what was said before that, so I'm not sure what's being asked exactly. My wife doesn't like Watchmen very much either. I like Watchmen because it's a deeper, darker, more realistic take on superheroes. And the moral ambiguity of Ozymandias in it is actually pretty cool to me. Not the moral apathy of Dr. Manhattan, but the ambiguity of Ozymandias. Although now imagine, you know, if Watchmen was a Chuck Wendig story, then he'd tell you that you don't like Watchmen because you're seeing Dr. Manhattan's dick all the time, that you're just homophobic or something. I think that's what Chuck Wendig would say, because apparently if you don't like the Aftermath books, that's why.
Slicing program activated.
Awesome.
Republic warships landed.
More students finishing. I was like, the screen looks weird. It's because like 2 or 3 more people just hit 100% complete early today. So the line shifted. That's friggin' awesome. Oh, mean ice. Yeah, the maximum movie mode is pretty sweet on most of those that I've seen. There we go. I did get... Wait. Defeat 10 enemies using any grenade. Did I not just do some of those in a previous match? Are you telling me I have to start this shit all over again? Because I had 9 to do before, and I used an impact grenade, which is how it went from not needing 9 to needing 7. But this is telling me that I've only gotten 1 since I started playing, and that's bullshit if that one has gone up by 2, and it's basically the same thing, because an impact grenade is a type of grenade. So one of them didn't count for it like it was supposed to. More than likely, I will not be pulling off that challenge today, I imagine. Just from a time standpoint, unless I play a crap ton tonight while my wife's going to bed. Yeah, V for Vendetta, awesome. Not as big a fan of the original comic of that one. Whereas with Watchmen, I really dug the comic and the film. V for Vendetta feels dated, whereas Watchmen doesn't as much, probably because it's purposely putting itself in a different time period. Even though I guess so is V for Vendetta, just not coming across as clearly. But yeah. V for Vendetta, I actually got the permission to use in my classes at one point when I was teaching in traditional classroom. When we got to the ideas of absolutism and revolution and stuff like that. So we'd use it like on a day where a lot of students are bailing. Okay, so JL, we've talked about this before, right? About how the bonus DVDs of the so-called unaltered versions from 2006, right, and 2008, were based on the Laserdisc masters of the Definitive Collection in 1993. Those are the same masters that were used for the Faces edition in 1995, the THX Remastered edition. So it's not so much that they used the 1995 version, so much as the 1995 version and the 2006 version are all sourced from the same 1993 master, if that makes sense. Oh, well, that's good. Thank you, Jackson. At least I know that it's not just me. If it's glitchy, at least I know that it's not something up with my end. That's kind of the thing my students have run into also. Like if they're having an issue with the platform, they'll email me and be like, "I just got kicked off, or I'm having trouble connecting." And as long as it's something where everybody's having the problem, and so they know that the company is going to work on it to fix it, I mean, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'll just wait and try again later." But man, if it's something that's an individual thing, they will freak out. Because that means it's all on their end, and they're going to have to figure out a way to fix it or have their school tech do it if they're in the building. But as long as everybody else is having the problem, they're like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm like, all right. That's fine. That's a valid way to look at it. You know, not as long as it's not extra stressful or something, I guess. Let's see. Yes, Doug Logan. It was good. I'm not sure I'd say it's my favorite X-Men film. I'm still more partial to Days of Future Past, but still pretty good. Nice. Uh-oh. I take it it's a good thing at the Apple Store? Let's see. The 1986 possessed truck movie Maximum Overdrive. Oh! It sounds familiar. I think I have. But is it based on a book? It may be that I had the book on a reading list that I never got around to, and now I'm thinking I saw the movie. Day-to-day timeline for the movies that was used for the Atlas. You mean like where did I get it?
We're losing the cantina.
Is that what you're asking, or are you asking like what actually is it? If it's you're asking what it actually is, I can't say off the top of my head because I don't have it in front of me. If you're asking where I get it, or I got it, it was provided by Leland when we were working on the Atlas, and we started realizing we wanted to do dates, not just for the for some of the dated battle maps, but also put starting dates on the maps for all the movies. And we had to have a date for Return of the Jedi, so I got to set that, which was pretty cool. The GRS date, at least. But basically, he sent me an Excel file that was an export from the Holocron, and it's basically got different the worksheets, different worksheets for each film, and it breaks down the days for each one. And in some cases, it's like actual GRS dates, and other cases, it's like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And not the exact starting date, but then, you know, once you've got the exact starting date, you just extrapolate from there. Okay, that's what it is. Stephen King. So yeah, so it was on my radar when I was getting into Stephen King, but I haven't seen it, I don't think. Because I was thinking, the name sounds so familiar, but I didn't remember anything from it. I think it was one of the ones that I was gonna watch, but just never did after. I watched Dark Path and The Stand kind of back to back, and read The Stand and Dark Path back to back as well. And I just can't get into Stephen King's writing as much, so I finally just gave up on Stephen King for now. Anybody? Anybody? I got the grenade. I got the grenade. I need to throw at someone. Anybody? Anybody? I'm stoked for the fact that New Mutants looks like a horror movie. I don't know what the heck they're going to do with it to tie it into the other ones, but heck yeah. But then again, one of my favorite multi-film franchises is the Saw films, so so for me, I'm like, yeah, bring it on!
Secure the cantina. Best hope now is the junkyard.
Have Mr. Sinister there acting like Jigsaw or something. I don't care. My wife loves it. She keeps saying, oh, well, when it comes out on home video, will you get in and watch it with me? I'm like, yeah, but she's seen it like 3 times probably. Gifted is actually really good. I did not have very high expectations for The Gifted, and it turned out to be one of the better comic shows in a while. So did Lucifer. Like, I never expected Lucifer to be any good, and Lucifer's pretty awesome. My wife and I mean, she's more into it than I am, but we watch that stuff all the time. It was determined the time skip in Empire. Actually, there is... Okay, define what you mean by time skip. You mean, like, between them splitting up and the asteroid field and stuff versus getting to Bespin, or what time frame are you talking about? Let's see. Have I seen Dunkirk? I have not. I probably will when it's on a streaming service. Again, my wife went to see it, and she is... So for me, I've got family members who were in the military, but it's it's in sort of an arm's length thing. Like, my brother-in-law was in the military, but by the time I knew him, he was already out. Or my great-grandfather's either father or uncle, I believe, was basically a national security advisor to Hitler, Wilhelm Keitel, apparently. So, like, there's that, but my wife, her grandfather was a vet, and he almost raised her, pretty much, her grandfather and grandmother in many ways. So she has a very close mental connection to that sort of thing. So when she sees a movie like that, it really hurts, but she also really enjoys the film, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just an emotional groin pull, as a friend of mine would say. So she went to see it. I didn't go see it with her when she did. She went to see it with her dad. And now that that's happened, she doesn't want to see it again because of the emotional impact of it. So if I watch it, it'll be by myself, and I'm not going to buy it just for me to watch it. So I'll just watch it on Netflix or something. From the asteroid field to Bespin. Okay, so here's the thing. In the holocron, it's almost a real-time kind of thing in that there isn't a big time gap in there. Unless they change their minds, the idea that there's a big time gap in the middle of The Empire Strikes Back is not correct. Even though it makes logical sense, it is not correct. Favorite holiday movie? Die Hard. Failing that, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I actually just watched before starting to stream. I picked up that, Get Out, and Despicable Me 3 at Target today. No, man. I mean, Dunkirk is one of those moments that I used to love teaching about in history class because it's definitely a big what if. Like, if Hitler had pressed the advantage that he had, World War II goes completely differently and the world turns out completely differently. But didn't happen. Oh, crap! Ah! Darth Maul's like, you flipping backwards? I invented acrobatic shit. Dead. Never seen Elf, and Home Alone was good. I'm not sure I would still dig it these days. Taking like half an hour? I'm honestly not sure.
My ally is forced.
See. Oh god, Spy Game. Love Spy Game. Love Spy Game. And you're probably the only other person that I've ever heard say that they, or who's ever said, "Hey, you heard about that film Spy Game?" Given the fact that I don't know if anybody else that I know has even seen it. How long streaming? Probably another 15 minutes or so at most, because that's around the time my wife will get off work, so I'll wrap stuff up. Polar Express, never seen. Christmas Story, you know, believe it or not, I've never, I don't think, seen Christmas Story all the way through. My second favorite Christmas movie, by the way, is It's a Wonderful Life. A movie that is basically an alternate reality story. Or a time-traveling angel-type story that changes the timeline without anybody actually usually thinking of it as sci-fi. But that's basically what it is. Spy Game is really good. And Family Man. What is Family Man? Why does that sound familiar? Yeah, Spy Game is one of those...
Enemy push into the bazaar.
You have to pay real close attention, but they lay out the bits and pieces to work really well. Like, I would say, from the standpoint of movies that do a lot of cool things with, like, linking very small things you need to notice to really get a big feel for the movie, I would say Spy Game, Fight Club, and Vantage Point are some of my favorites in that regard. Vantage Point's very underrated, by the way. Ah, crap! He fried me! Hello, Colby. He totally fried me. And yeah, I thought for a second it was Family Guy, and I was about to go into a rant about the Star Wars Family Guy stuff. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, just the events of Dunkirk are momentous in a historical perspective. I would have expected them to do something. Well, I guess let me put it this way. So the movie Dunkirk, right? Like, again, I have not seen it, but you guys were saying that there doesn't have really a main character. Does it stay historically accurate though? Like, is it doing something historically accurate to give us sort of a feel of the event, and the event itself is the focus? Or is it not historically accurate and doesn't manage to have a main film? Or a main character? Yeah, Fight Club is fantastic. The book is odd. I actually like the film probably better than the book on that one. Akin to my feeling on the Lord of the Rings stuff. If I have to read another frickin' passage in a Lord of the Rings book now that I'm on 2 towers of, and they got to the top of the green hill and looked down at all the grass and shit, I'm gonna go nuts. And down there was a mountain, and down there was a stream, and down there was a river. And none of that means a damn thing to the story, but you know what? Tolkien loved geography, so no editor is willing to pull that kind of crap out. Ugh. Back to the Future is actually a favorite of mine. I've got that recent Blu-ray set that comes in the package with the flux capacitor on it. That's also got the DVD. It's got the Blu-rays of the films, but it's got the DVD copy of the cartoon series. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Oh, Winston. Chill, Winston. Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is actually the first place I ever saw Jason Statham in anything. Haven't seen it in a while. That's what I just said, JL. The flux capacitor one. Although I know that the stream doesn't actually happen in exact real time for you and me. So, still. Did like Inception. Not a favorite, but did like it. Ah! Run away! Did. Haven't seen Prestige. Have not seen the Prestige. And I thought Dark Knight was highly overrated. Like, it was good, but I actually like Batman Begins more than I liked either of its 2 follow-ups.
That detonator's about
Yeah,
to
now does it have the cartoon series though? Because even at the time that they released the flux capacitor version, they did a reissue that didn't have the flux capacitor packaging, but that was the one that didn't have the cartoon series either. Grenade! Did I just get a kill with a grenade finally? Is that what that ding was? Maybe, possibly.
We'll brave the desert and flee for our lives.
We'll brave the desert and flee for our lives. I think I've seen them, but I remember virtually nothing about them. But I think I've seen them. Because I think I watched those and the horror stuff of 8 Films to Die For all fairly close back to back one year. So, okay, so this time I got one and I got one, so it counted for both. It's slow going, but at least it's counting. And I need 11 more kills to get night vision for the Fwumba! It's a pretty good gun. Right? Right? Because, you know, everybody loved some Fwumba back in the day. You know, I get knocked down and I get up again. They ain't never gonna... Never mind. That's actually not bad at all for the special collection versions of A New Hope Empire and for the New Hope and the others that you mentioned. My brain went for a second because I was looking at a different number. I only wish that my special collection version of, I think it's Jedi is the one I've got that's missing the Obi, unfortunately. I thought 300 was alright, didn't think it was great. But I read the comic afterwards, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's so crazy stylized. Do I want the iPhone 10? Not right now. I just got the 7, so I could now better use Jedi challenges, which I really need to get back into. I still haven't fought the Grand Inquisitor yet, and I unlocked him weeks ago to fight on Jedi challenges. Alright, here we go. Time to win again.
This spaceport.
By the way, that ship back there in the background, worst pilot ever.
Orders are to kill or capture all parties involved, but they're heavily armed.
Nice. Manhunter doesn't ring a bell. Like, the name does, but I know nothing about it, so I'm not quite sure. That makes me think of Charles Bronson somehow.
Starting at the junkyard and cantina.
Never saw Rise of an Empire. After the first one, I was like, it's about enough. 300 for me. And of course, the 300 was something that that both helped and hurt me in trying to teach stuff that happened with Sparta and Persia when teaching AP World History, because my students had seen 300, and I had to do a lot of this was fact, this was fiction, this was true, this is complete bullshit type of teaching. Oh! Somehow he was able to kill me when I was drilling him with supercharged sentry. I'm calling bullshit. But he's got supercharged sentry and stuff too. Michael Mann. Gotcha.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. His head just popped into my head. Go! In case you're wondering, by the way, I had somebody comment on this the other day, that my targeting reticle being blue is so I can see it better. You can change the color in the options menu.
Moving to pacify the cantina.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I was much more concerned about just getting it than getting the Obi. But I found that sometimes I'll do that, and then years later I'll get something that's like a better copy of whatever it is. I still need to freaking find a copy of Droids Volume 2 from the UK. That's taking me forever. Oh! Oh! Didn't kill him. Did not kill him, but came close. That's some bunk. I will kill you. Ah! Oh, crap. Oh! Killed you. Ooh. I'll be honest, though. I think that if it really came down to it, I would probably say that I liked the that Hulk more than the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton in it. That one bores the hell out of me. It's the hardest part of rewatching the Marvel Cinematic Universe anytime I try to do it, is getting through Incredible Hulk. Yeah, it tried to actually capture the feel of a comic book as opposed to just a comic book feel, if that made sense. I'll tell you one comic that's worth reading if you've only ever seen the film, The Crow. Read James O'Barr's original The Crow. It's quite good. I still think I prefer the film just because of Brandon Lee's performance. But, well, last performance. But the original comic is actually really good. And it's been reprinted like 1,000,000 times. Ah! Oh! Stand there in a closet and try to shoot me. Show you what happens when you try that crap. Oh! Ah! I pressed the button, but the animation doesn't go fast enough. As soon as he stepped in, I pressed the button to try to drop it at his feet, so if I was going to die, at least I'd take him with me. Didn't work. Website of the Matrix that was very different than the way it's been for several years. I have no idea how it's been for several years, so don't know. Do I have a tablet? Yeah, I've got a iPad Air. I have an iPad Air, and I've got an iPad Air for work. And I used to have an iPad 2, I think it was. This will probably be it, by the way, unless this match ends very quickly. This will probably be the last match. Uh-oh!
Prepare a kill zone.
How you like me now? How you like me now? Squatting down. Oh! Throw the... Nope, didn't work. I pressed the grenade button again right at the last second. It didn't work.
Right with you.
I used to be so good at throwing grenades and actually having them hit people when you didn't have to on Destiny. The fact that I can't get an impact grenade that you have to really kind of hit people with to work well on this kind of shows that my skills have dropped. Or it's just not as precise a shooter. One of the two. What is today? Thursday? Yeah, no stream tomorrow. Wait. No stream tomorrow because my wife is off for her doctor's appointment. And I expect tomorrow to be a pretty big push because tomorrow is probably when a lot of the guidance offices are going to be talking to students like, hey, you've only got, a week left. What the heck are you doing? Get to work on your courses. Which usually means there'll be a burst of activity right there at the end of the week. Whoop.
Proceed. Scan for enemies.
Yeah. I find that it's not that big of a deal until I try to do Jedi challenges, right? Now, granted, I haven't tried to mow yet with it. Usually, if I'm going to listen to something on my iPhone with earphones, then it's either going to be because my wife's asleep and I'm playing Battlefront, perhaps, and I've got, like, one earphone plugged into this so I can listen to the game, and the other earphone is something, like, from Netflix or talk radio or something going in the other ear. Not a big deal, because it's two different sources. The other time I tend to use it the most is when I mow, and I'm not sure how well that lightning connector is going to hold up to having the phone sitting in my back pocket while I'm mowing. I got a Bluetooth set of headphones, but they're not the little ones. They're like a band that goes partway on your head, because I don't want to wind up getting little ones that fall out of my ears while I'm mowing and get destroyed. But I can live with all that. Not a big deal. What gets me, though, is if I'm playing Jedi Challenges, you have to plug that Mirage AR headset into your phone with the lightning connector. Which means that I can't also plug in headphones to get the 3D headphone thing, or the 3D sound thing, unless I'm wearing the headset and I have a Bluetooth set of headphones plugged in, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's not bad playing when you got to listen to the phone speakers, because they're decent speakers, but still it'd be nice to be able to put the earphones in, because you lose some of that same effect that you get with VR, with the PlayStation VR, with the headphones and the 3D audio. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep sticking with heavy. Gotta do the impact grenades. Whew. My thing about it is I'm terrified to leave headphones sitting out anymore, because within like a week of when I bought my original PlayStation VR headset, it came with these little earbud headphones. I mean, nothing great, nothing spectacular, but I left them sitting out one day, and our kitten, who's now like about a year old, destroyed them in lightning fast time, which sucked. Time was at 3. I'll do one more. I can do one more match. That's fine. One more is fine. Maybe I can get 7 kills and just say screw it to the impact grenades thing and get the night vision while I'm on the stream. Let's see. Let's try. But yeah, that sucked. I do like how the new PSVR though has the, like on the headset that goes around, it's got plugs like here on the band that you actually plug the earphones into, and if you're using the earphones that come with the new one, they got these plastic pieces that make it so the wire basically stays molded and is like right around the edge of the ring, and then there's little holes at the part that's near your ears where it adjusts. There's little indentations you can take the earphones while you're not using them and plug them into those and let them sit, and you don't have to have them dangling or constantly take them on and off of the little dongle like on the first PSVR. So that I dig. But just sucks to play Jedi challenges on the AR thing without being able to use the headphones. Because apparently they have a pretty... the audio is pretty good on them. but to do it, I'd have to get some Bluetooth small headphones. But I guess I could get some of those ones that just conform to your ear but have like the little curve around it, so it's not just the thing plugged into your ear. For me, my favorite will always be the I'd say probably the headphones on the iPhone 5S-ish generation. They've got the earphone part shaped like the current ones do, except it had a regular plug instead of a lightning plug. Or my favorite before that I used for years, even after the system itself died, the headphones that came with the original Game Boy. Those things lasted me for about a decade longer than my Game Boy did. Love those old black and... They're the black headphones with a red and blue piping around it so you can tell which ear was which just by quickly glancing at it. Computer Warriors? No, I have not. Never heard of it. Go! Although now I think I've got Dream Warriors from the third Nightmare on Elm Street stuck in my head.
We're the Dream Warriors. Don't wanna dream no more.
I'm with you.
I'm Awake Now by Goo Goo Dolls for the opening of Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare beats the hell out of Dream Warriors.
Made it to the turbo laser. Charge is set.
Not sure if the movie Freddy's Dead beats the hell out of Dream Warriors.
We're not done yet.
Oh, wait, no. Dream Warriors was the fourth one. So I'm thinking, yeah, the fourth one. Because the third one was Dream Master. Because it was original, revenge, original, revenge, Master, Warriors, Child, then Freddy's Dead, and then they did the reboot. Or no, then they did Freddy vs. Jason, and then they did the reboot. I'm someone who really dug Nightmare on Elm Street and has watched it over and over again and have the Blu-rays in there. I have actually never seen a single Friday the 13th movie except for Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, I hunted down the Freddy's Dead soundtrack for just that song years ago. Because it turned out that you couldn't find it anywhere else. Like, they didn't have it on other Goo Goo Dolls CDs available at the time. At least not that I could find. Never seen Good Burger. I enjoy a good burger, but never seen Good Burger. Although now I'm freaking hungry. When my wife gets home, I may be like, honey, let's go to Chili's. Because they got some grub burgers. If you've never tried burgers at Chili's, but bring a lot of napkins or ask them for a lot of napkins because most of them have so much sauce on them the thing will fall apart in your hands. But they are so good, some of them. They got like they got one with like jalapeno aioli and stuff on it. Okay, so it was the third. I'm getting them backwards. Gotcha, it's been a while. Now, when was... Hey, EK. We're nearing the end of the stream, but... Hello. Wasn't it Dream Master where they recast the one character who then continued from the casting in Master into Child? But it was a character who was originally introduced in Warriors with a different actress. Am I remembering right?
By your side.
Aw, he's by your side. Aw. Oh my God, this one guy, good Lord. So there's this guy that always comments on the YouTube channel on certain videos, and regardless of what the thing is, as long as it's Star Wars, he basically says such and such, like he repeats back the title of whatever it was I just showed in the video. Such and such was released by, and then he always says that it's from like 20th Century Fox and Lucasfilm. When most of the time he's commenting on it, he's commenting on stuff like The Force Awakens or Forces of Destiny, which are not 20th Century Fox distribution. And it doesn't matter how damn many times I say, no, 20th Century Fox had nothing to do with it, he constantly says the same thing. And sure enough, it just showed up on my phone there's a new comment that says that Forces of Destiny just came out for 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. No, it fucking didn't! Sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine. And not a pet peeve in the way you think. It's not a pet peeve that it can be confusing, because it can be confusing with all the license rights and stuff. That's why I don't go up on JL and we talk about the whole license thing all the time. But whenever I say something and whenever something is clarified and the person every single time and the person keeps saying the same thing and it's either willful ignorance or they're purposely just saying it wrong just to get a reaction, that's irksome to me. So,
We're not done
yeah.
yet.
I'll stop. Sounds like a super troll. If it's a super troll, does it mean you learned the skill at Trump University? Huh? Huh? Come on, come on. That was perfect. That was a perfect opening. I hadn't made a single Trump joke all night. That was perfect. We have the best trolling.
I'm with you.
When you finish our school of trolling, you get your degree that's higher than a master's, but we don't call it a doctorate. We say you've earned your covfefe. Okay, so Dream Master was the... Okay. I knew there was a change. I couldn't remember if it was right before... if it was between 3 and 4 or between 4 and 5, but I seem to recall that I thought it was the same person having the kid in Child as in Master, because I didn't think that it was a recast and immediately the child entering the situation too.
Let's go.
I can handle myself.
I can handle myself.
A top resistance agent just
Really?
landed.
Again, that sounds like an X-rated Star Wars parody. Rey handles herself. Maybe they should use that less often. Whoa, Bosk's got some air there on that jump. You see that? Bosk isn't like... Bosk doesn't have any force powers, right? It's just that lizards jump high. Got them Trandoshan calf muscles. It does raise an interesting question, though, about 3 and 4 different actor. When did we start saying actor for men and women again instead of actor and actress? Because there used to be a time where if you said actor and it was a woman, you would get all kinds of shit for saying that. But now it's like the opposite. Like if you don't say actor and instead you say actress, how dare you point out the gender of the person who was winning, or winning all those acting awards. You're like, well, if you're going to call it Best Actor and Best Actress, then maybe you should lead the way in changing it if you really want to get on to us for doing gender-specific terms for actors and actresses. Whoa! How Kylo Ren was made. Ugh. Ugh.
Sticking with you.
Grabbing Kylo's lightsaber. Does she actually? Because I know he reaches out his hand. I don't know if there's a lightsaber grab, but then again, I tried not to watch every single TV promo and just catch the big trailers. Not that I don't want to be spoiled per se. It's just I don't want to get myself in the mindset of picking apart every scene that we see in a trailer, only for it to be completely different. Or those scenes not to even be in the movie, as we had the case with Rogue One, whenever the time finally comes to see it. Oh! There we go! There's an impact grenade kill right there. There you go. Rah! Rah! And... Wait. What else do we say? Oh, she's gone. I was going to do my other emote, which is boom! But that's okay. Cool. Do you know what it's called, Noah? Like, is there a name to that trailer or that TV spot? Because usually they'll put a name on it somehow, but I haven't been keeping up with them, so I wouldn't know which one it is. I actually managed to work in the joke of hide the lightsaber into a Star Wars audio drama I did years ago. Star Wars fan audio drama I did years ago. Second Strike. Instead of being said by a guy who was like a rapey predator kind of guy, so it wasn't nearly as funny as it was meant to be. I don't know a Gary impersonation. I know who you mean, but I don't remember what his voice sounds like or anything. Uh-oh! Yeah!
Closing in on the gate.
Die!
Are you offering me a job?
Whoa! Damn, that was a close call.
Agents just arrived.
I'm not sure that "are you offering me a job" is any better than "I think I can handle myself" when it comes to the double entendres. Just saying. Probably not the best line choices for Ray.
Grenade out.
First order reinforcements arriving.
Oh, God.
One person.
There are so many things I could say about that, but none of them are politically correct. None of them are particularly good mixed company jokes. Oh!
Skywalker, standing by.
No, it's Red 5 standing by. Ah, the morbid!
By your side.
It's Han Solo. He's Han Solo, Solo. Oh, shot him in the back. Sorry.
On a run.
China in a Trump voice. That's just China. You gotta add the Y into it. C-H-Y. It's almost like he's speaking Russian, which is ironic, isn't it? Because there's a lot of, like, in Russian, there are two sets of vowels, basically. Like, you know how if in Russia you say no by saying niet. It's not net, it's niet. But there's not a letter for the Y that's in there. It's that there's a version of that E sound that has a Y built into it. So every vowel has like a Y and a non-Y version. So like O and Yo, Ah and Ya. Ya is actually a backwards capital R, which is basically why it's Toys Ya Us when you go buy toys. But, uh-oh, can't go up there yet. But, yeah, like you just gotta say, it's like China, except the I has to have a Y built into it, so it's like a Russian version of it. China. Do you like the high ground? It depends on the game. I like being at a distance where I can snipe the crap out of things, but you can't do all the challenges that way, so... Up and shot me in the back as I'm shooting that way. Wrong direction, doofus.
By your side.
Was Phantom Menace as terrible as people said? No. I think as a film, it probably holds up better than Attack of the Clones does. I think the issue with Phantom Menace is that it feels so disconnected. Even now, it feels so disconnected from the other films that it's almost not so much an episode 1 as it's like an episode 0. It's almost like a prologue to the other ones, because then 2 and 3 are closely connected, 4, 5, 6 are closely connected, but 1 is just kind of hanging out there as a little different. Ah! Let's see. How am I making out with the challenges? I'm not. I'm married. I don't make out with anybody. Oh, you mean how's... Oh, yeah. Good. I mean, it's going well enough. I've been doing the, whatchamacallit, I've been doing the, challenges as best as I can. My buddy Jim Perry, Indiana Jim, who was on a stream with me recently, just finished up all the multiplayer ones, which sounds like a huge thing, but then you realize that all the trooper ones are separate. But I'd probably be done with those too if I played more Starfighter Assault, but I'm trying to do all these trooper ones. Because the vast majority of everything else that I've got left for the multiplayer one is doing the Starfighter ones. So I'm unlocking a test. And let's see.
Gate control override online.
we go. Yeah, I had a student say, I can't believe that teachers are working right now because it's about 8 p.m. Well, that's why we're awesome. Right? Because in our case, your work hours, you're expected to work about 8 hours a day, but they could be any time depending on when the students need you. So it's more like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and respond to things within a 3-hour stretch. So, and that is awesome. That is very cool. Let me know what you think of it once you get a chance to actually start going through it. I imagine a second edition won't be until at least after Han Solo, if not after Episode 9. But there's a lot of stuff that now I can add because they've had more releases, and I'm thinking I may start also adding more pictures of like the Laserdisc labels instead of just the Laserdisc slip covers, although the labels confuse the crap out of people sometimes. We're good. Let's see. Spider-Man 3 was pretty bad. I don't remember all of it. Pretty bad. Whew. Victory.
Extracting them now. Let's get off this planet before our fleet blows it up.
Let's get off this planet before our fleet blows it up. Man, if I had a dime for every time I said that. Alright, that'll be the last one there. Let's see where I'm going to try to pronounce that one. Okay. So I'm at 3 out of 10. Still got to do 7 more of those. 20 out of 25. So they have been counted. So 5 more of those. So I'll get those together. And then only 3 more of those. So if I play tonight, well, the wife is falling asleep, I'll knock those out. That's good. Sweet. How do you change to the light side? EK, if you're talking about like when you choose your faction initially this week, to like switch from First Order to Resistance, according to the text that shows up on the screen as you're doing the choosing, you can't. Once you choose a faction, you're stuck with it. So you're either Resistance or your First Order, but you can't switch, apparently. Apparently. And Kylo Ren versus Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, probably Kylo Ren again because he could just freeze him in place. Unless Tobey Maguire Spider-Man sensed it coming and ran. But again, they would probably just go and be all emo together or something, so they wouldn't actually fight. We've actually seen all 3 of them. My wife and I just watched, right after War came out, we picked up the 4K release of the previous 2, and then as soon as War hit 4K, we watched it that way. Pretty good. Sure make a lot more sense than the ending of the Marky Mark version, or Mark Wahlberg version. But that ain't saying much. Again, valedictorian of summer school, kind of. Alright, so... Yike. But, I mean, I'm at 23,920 credits, right? So almost 24K in credits. Surely that's going to be enough when Tuesday rolls around to get Phasma and Finn, right? You figure? I mean, I'll keep building it up. I want to probably walk into next week with at least about 30,000 just in case they cost as much as Luke and Vader did. But whatever I don't spend on that, I'm ready to start dumping into crates. Because I want to keep the progression going, and my progression has basically come to a dead stop while I'm waiting. Again, no stream tomorrow, pretty much, just because wife's off work, which means that, and it's going to be a little bit more of a busy day, so there probably won't be a dead time in the day to be able to just sit down and do it. And then probably will take the time to do some streaming on Saturday, if everything goes as I expect it to. And then not on Sunday again. And then next week, there's no way to tell, honestly, at this point. Just completely depends. Favorite of the Back to the Future trilogy, it's either 2 or 3. I go back and forth, probably 3. That's hard to say. But, okay. So, final spiel. Again, I'm Nathan P. Butler. This is my YouTube channel. You can find stuff here like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, which just had a release this week of episode 131, looking at the 7, count them, 7 Star Wars home video reissues that were just released at Walmart stores this week with the exclusive pack-in DVD of Forces of Destiny Volume 1. I break it all down in detail. You'll also find stuff like Fantasy Flight Games reviews on the channel. Expect new reviews coming within about the next week or so when the next round of X-Wing products finally arrives at my door that just got released. Let's see. You can find my book, that EK was mentioning, A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases on Amazon in your particular region. You can also find the podcast that I'm involved with, Cloud City Casino, which is doing episodes right now about Battlefront 2, with me and Michael Morris over at StarWarsReport.com. Also there you'll find Star Wars Beyond the Films with me and Mark Herleman, where we talk about Legends and canon books, comics, and stuff like that, all there as well. And then, of course, my Star Wars Timeline Gold, which is the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere at 3,100 plus pages at this point across 5 documents. You can find that at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. So if you're looking for a comprehensive Legends timeline or canon timeline or whatever, be sure to check it out. How to get the book signed? Tell you what, shoot me an email, Nathan@StarWarsFanWorks.com, and I'll fill you in on the info. Or just check out my Patreon. Actually, no, I was going to say check out the Patreon. I was going to say at the bottom, but at the bottom it mentions just email me for details. So yeah, just email me, and I'll get you the details on how to get set up with one of those. All right, thanks guys, I appreciate it, and I will catch you next time, hopefully.